Good morning. Let's discuss the link between health and nutrition. We do not live in a vacuum. We trudge through a thick soup of microbes, viruses, and allergens every day that shift just about every season. This was discovered right about the time that H.G. Wells penned his sci-fi classic, War of the Worlds. In fact, it was our microscopic little buddies that saved Earth from the Mars invasion. All you sci-fi geeks already know that. But then why aren't we sick all the time? We each have an immune system. And our immune system is designed to deal with the microbes and the bacteria and the viruses and the allergens. Well then, if we have an immune system, why do we get sick? Why do we get the stuffy nose, the sinusitis, the sore throat, the lung congestion, the what's it called, bronchitis or asthma or even pneumonia? What goes wrong? And here's the deal. Our body can only handle so many toxins at one time. So if we are inundating our body with more toxins than it can handle, or just barely the toxins it can handle, then when it receives an additional one, maybe someone around you is sick, maybe there's a seasonal allergen in the air, your body just says, hey, I can't handle anymore, your immune system goes on tilt, and you experience what some naturopaths call a healing crisis. Now, your body doesn't have much of imagination. It only has one way. It typically gets rid of the toxins, the microbes, the bacteria, the viruses, the allergens, and that's through our mucous membrane. Yes, we get to look and feel like a plague victim. Through our nose, our phlegm, our coughing. All our sore throat is a postnasal drip. Our sinuses are just so full of crap that it's spilling down the back of our throat, hurting our, irritating our throat and filling our belly. That's why when we're sick, we often lose our appetite because we're already full. We're full of mucus, toxic mucus. Now, I've got some good news. They say the best remedy is prevention. And the best way to prevent getting sick or falling prey to a seasonal allergen is to remove the unnecessary burden that we often place on our immune system. One of the things I really love about the liberal perspective of Buddhism, not the fundamentalist perspective, but the liberal perspective, is that Buddha's teachings on causality, on cause and effect, that things we do affect us and affect others, and the things others do affect them and affect us. That everything seems to affect everything, that everything seems to be affected by everything. If not directly, then indirectly, if not overtly, then subtly, if not actually, then at least potentially. What that means is that we ain't victims. If you don't like something about you, or your body, or your circumstance, or your relationships, there is at least something, if not many things, that we can do to shift our circumstances and our experience of them. That's empowering. We do not have to go through our lives as victims, placing the back of our hand on our forehead in the manner of Sarah Bernhardt and proclaim how unjust the universe is. Listen, the universe is plenty just. Many times, not all the times, but many times, our sufferings are at least partially our own doing. That doesn't mean we need to go through rituals to purify our karma. That means we need to make better decisions in our lives. It is as simple as that. One of the beautiful things about a whole food, plant-based diet is it removes the toxins from an animal flesh or an animal product diet. Dairy, eggs, the flesh of bird, beast, and fish, and even insect put a burden on the human immune system. By removing them, we give our immune system a chance to breathe easy. That's just the vegan perspective or the plant-based perspective. If we're using the whole food perspective, that puts removes even more burdens from our immune system. For instance, if we use whole grain instead of flour, that's much better. If we use whole beans instead of tofu, that's much better. If we eat fruit with our teeth instead of putting it into a smoothie, that's better. Our bodies were designed to eat whole food. Now, I've spoken to people who are much smarter than me. Some people talk about legumes and pulses, and others talk about grains. And they say there's a huge botanical difference between a grain and a legume. Some people can eat grains and they thrive. They have strength and joie de vivre. And that's beautiful. Some people eat grains and they put a larger burden on their immune system. Personally, when I eat grains, and I love grains, I swell. My face swells, my limbs swell, my abdomen swells. Not dissimilar to the manner of little Violet Beauregard from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Or is it Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? Someone in the Chocolate Factory. They tell the story of little Violet Beauregard. She ate some blueberries and she turned into a giant blueberry. Which, when I saw as a little kid in the 70s, I found it to be horrific. So personally, even though I love the flavor and taste of whole grains, and even though for many people they're beneficial, for myself, I've had to take a vacation from grains. Some people thrive on grains. Also, when I'm on grains, I feel an immediate toxic load increase on my immune system within minutes, if not hours. And I'm not alone. There are many like that. Many. For instance, sometimes you take two men. Both have the same diet, both have the same exercise or lack thereof. One has a beer belly, one doesn't. The one with the beer belly may very well have, you guessed it, a grain sensitivity or a grain allergy. If there's a food that on paper should be a health food, but in practice makes you sick or gives you the symptoms of being sick, then take a vacation from it. Now, some people don't like suffering, so they bitch and moan and piss. But they don't really want to do something about the suffering, so they paint themselves as a victim. Now, there are things in our life that create sufferings that we may not be able to change completely or at all, and that can suck. but not everything. Let us be the people who are so enthusiastic to thrive and to be our best. They're always looking for something subtle and simple and easy to adjust and tweak and improve so we can be more healthy, more resourceful intellectually and emotionally, so we can be more of the people that our dogs already think we are. Now, some people don't like the idea of changing what they eat. They want to eat what they've always eaten, but get new and different results. Even though some people, I've heard it said that Einstein said it, I'm not sure, but someone notable once said the basic definition of insanity is to do the same thing you've always done, but expect different results. So, if you're one of the people who doesn't like the idea of giving up cheese and milk and eggs and beef and poultry and fish and perhaps even insects or worms, depending on which part of the world you live, but you want different health benefits, you want a different health experience, you want greater intellectual lucidity, emotional resourcefulness, and physical health. If you want those changes, but you don't want to make changes, then I have an exercise that I recommend for you. Do this exercise for 27 breaths before bed every night. Not when you're lying down, before you go to bed. Maybe when you're sitting on the ground or sitting in a chair. Here's what you do. Now, write this down. On the in-breath, you ask the question, what changes could I make to increase my immune system's efficiency with which it handles seasonal allergies? End it with a question mark. You ask that mentally, silently, as on the in-breath. You can commit it to memory, or you can just read it. What are some of the changes I could make to increase my immune system's efficiency with which it handles seasonal allergies? Question mark. On the out-breath, you either read, recite, chant, or sing the 6-syllable mantra. Now, obviously, if you're doing this before bed, what you want to do is not too energetic a chant, a very subtle chant, a relaxing chant will be fine. But however you chant the mani, you're doing it for 27 breaths. Do that every night for a month, and see if that doesn't give birth within your heart and your mind greater resourcefulness, creativity, and enthusiasm to make whatever changes are required to maximize your health so you can enjoy greater emotional resourcefulness and intellectual lucidity. Thank you for your time and your kind attention. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Remember to click like and share and subscribe, and make your way to the home page. Find the tab on the lower left-hand side that reads Manage Subscriptions. Look up Tantric Sex God 1. Click the box next to that. Check the box next to that. Look up Lama Jigme. Check the box next to that. That way you can receive my videos, my alerts every time I upload a video in your email. Bye-bye.